Good afternoon. My name is Bryce Hutchison. I'm the Australian High Commissioner. From an Australian perspective, we utterly condemn, the Australian government utterly condemns acts of hate, violent acts, hate speech and the like, and clearly there have been many instances of these acts of hate in Sri Lanka over recent weeks directed unacceptably at the Muslim community.
My name is Shelley Whiting. I am the Canadian High Commissioner. And I think my words at that time are equally applicable here. And in terms of the importance that the strong words of condemnation that we have heard from His Excellency the President, His Excellency the Prime Minister, in Cabinet and in Parliament, it's important that those strong words of condemnation be heeded. It is equally important that the rule of law be applied for those who perpetrate acts of hate and these crimes. And it is equally important that minority rights and the rights of freedom of religion be upheld. The Government of Canada condemns all acts of hate. Sadly, earlier this year, our Muslim community also was the victim of a terrible shooting in Quebec.
I'm High Commissioner Marks from South Africa, and I think that many of you know that we have walked a similar path where we were trying to unite our country across differences. Ours was not religious in nature, it was around race, of course. Just a week ago, I was asked to do an interview with one of the newspapers, and I was asked about what does this mean for us when we see these attacks on Muslims that's happening in this country. And my response to that was that one of the things that we find difficult to understand is that at the core of the value of all of the religions in Sri Lanka stands messages that speaks to peace. When we think about the Buddhist term metta and Kurana, which means compassion and loving kindness, it speaks to how we should be with each other. When we think about the basic tenet of Christianity, which speaks about forgiveness and loving each other, and when we think about salam, which sets the frame for the conversation because it says peace, peace be with you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Heinz Walker. I'm the Swiss ambassador. 2.5 years ago, a coalition of moderates took power. And I think it's in the interest of all Sri Lankans to maintain this power, that the moderates keep the power. And there are always some elements of the society who try to deviate from this middle path. As in Buddhism, the middle path plays an important role. And the question for me is how the moderates can contribute that the risk of deviation is minimized.
My name is Joanne Doornewaard. I'm the ambassador for the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Just on part of the Netherlands, I would like to express that Sri Lanka in this current phase of reconciliation can do without the recent attacks on the mosques and businesses. And I'm aware that at the highest government levels these incidents are not condoned. But my presence here is an expression of solidarity and to underline the need for the upholding of rule of law and for prompt action to ensure that the perpetrators of violence are dealt with according to the law.
Hello everybody, I'm Knut Nyflet. I'm acting head of the Embassy of Norway. Sri Lanka is at a crossroad now. You are working on a new constitution, you're working on the way forward. It's important now to stand together, that all religious groups, all ethnic groups are standing together to bring Sri Lanka forward. And I must commend your community, the Muslims, to actually have chosen a non-violent response to all the challenges you've been met with. It's unfortunate and a tragedy that these incidents have come back now, the last month, to a larger degree. And this is not where the new government or Sri Lanka should go. This is going the wrong path.
The wave of violences that have occurred in the recent weeks throughout the country against the Muslim community, against mosques, but also against belongings of Muslims who were owning shops. And obviously this is something very worrying. Now, I would just like, on behalf of the EU, but I would also like my other ambassadors' colleagues to take the floor, express our solidarity to the Muslim community. In particular now with the Ramadan, we know that it's not easy for this community to go through the difficult days. They are long days where you are thirsty. So we hope that you will refrain also from entering into that cycle. But we hope that in the coming days there will also be practical implementations by the police to arrest the people that have been making and committing these violences.